Hello YouTube, my name is Plazookas, and today's video is going to be on Stellar Blade. I'm going to get a little ahead of my skis today because I want to talk about post-launch content for Stellar Blade. Maybe some of you are not aware, but Shift Up, the developer of Stellar Blade, is also the developer of a game that came out last year called Goddess of Victory Nikke. It was a mobile game that was very well received within the mobile gaming ecosystem. Gacha style, pay to win, all the things that you would expect from a mobile game are in this specific game. However, when a developer decides to shift to a much more console, single player, non monetized ecosystem, there is some benefit there with that transition. The benefit comes from the fact that they know about post launch content, they know about planning ahead because in their prior development process with Goddess of Victory and Nikke, mobile games require that steady drip of post-launch content. Now, it is possible that Stellar Blade is a standalone and there will be no further DLCs or costume packs or mission-based add-ons. But let's just speculate as to what potentially Stellar Blade could add. And we'll start with the obvious. New costumes. The costumes within the game are not pay to win. They provide armor, but all the armor for each of the costumes are the same, so the only difference is the visual upgrade. As far as what has been released and publicly confirmed, there's about 8 to 12 new costumes. Now, I thought there were more, but apparently they're just different colors. So that kind of indicates that there will be an ability to change the color of the costume potentially to even further customize your player. Even if, let's say, there's 20 costumes within the game, I think that this game could support an additional drip of costumes going forward. I think people would buy certain aesthetics for this game because just like other action style games like Devil May Cry or Elden Ring, costumes do drive a bit of the populist's ability to like just have fun in the game. The second possibility is new characters. Now, we do not know if we're going to be able to play with Taki or Lily or Adam, or if we're going to be confined with Eve. If we are confined with Eve, then I think the chances of playing it as another character is extremely high. Shift Up, the developers of Goddess of Victory Nikke, are very familiar with gachas. They're very familiar with building skills and kits for characters. That is exactly what mobile games do specifically. So it's not that much of a stretch to think that they could already be working on or have completed some other character kit. Now, it could be Taki, could be Lily. That's already in the game to some degree. But let's just say there's other characters that they could include besides Eve and change up how they play and the skill sets and all these things, or different weapon types. Maybe incorporate more magic builds because currently the abilities that Eve has are cool, and I don't think they need to be more complex or need more variety. But you look at games like Elden Ring, which has various different weapon types, various different degrees of how you can play the game. I think Stellar Blade could benefit from something like that. And because this developer has a pedigree with other gacha style games, I think they are uniquely qualified to provide that. The third additional content that could be released is weapons. Different weapons, different weapon types. We know that there are guns in the game, but there could include different various types of guns in the game. Instead of a two-barrel pistol like we've seen in some of the trailers, we could have shotguns, we could have bazookas, we could have more powerful combinations of weapons and upgrades. So that's a possibility as well. New skills could be implemented as additional downloadable content to vary your kit even more, to make you more powerful. I guess the fourth thing we could talk about is additional enemies and bosses types, which would include missions in that category. So that if you do get new weapons, you do get new characters, you'd also want to go to a new area and fight new bosses that are harder or have different kind of skills and enemy movements and combos themselves, right? So I think that's a possibility. There could just be the fifth possibility where they have this like huge DLC dump like Elden Ring, like Cyberpunk does. They wait a year to release it, and it's like new characters, new weapons, basically another game within itself, and it's, $40, whatever else, because they're charging 70 for the game currently with Stellar Blade. And then the other option is that they just don't do any of that and they basically work on a sequel. They just get a sequel out, which could continue with the Eve story, or we could go somewhere else. I don't know enough about the story to know where we're gonna go with Stellar Blade, but I'm sure it's relatively open ended. It's war, it's about battling mechs and bugs, and I'm sure there's different enemy types that could be incorporated in the DLCs or the next game. So there's a lot of possibilities here, and the game was supposed to be released last year. It's getting pushed back until this year, and I think that allowed for them to optimize the game and potentially work on other content. I do think that Shift Up is uniquely qualified more than most developers to provide post content release updates. I would not be surprised if we see something within a month of the game going live. I know it's a little early to talk about this, but I think it was worth mentioning and getting people to anticipate the possibility that there's going to be DLC drops for this game outside of the additional $7. And to me, I'm just going to take this stance currently right now because of, all the other games that have come out that are games as a platform, live service, online only games. I think $70 for a video game now. Games like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth should cost $120, $100. Baldur's Gate 3 should cost $100, $120. And a lot of them do buy their deluxe editions, their special editions, their collector's editions. That's how they kind of get that money anyway. But the value for a video game nowadays compared to inflation, and I don't want to do this because I want everybody to play video games, but there's already a market for people who pirate and stuff that wouldn't buy these games anyway. The single player ones, at least. And there's plenty of other online ones that are free. So at this rate, I am a supporter. Everything else is going up, and this is my hobby, and why not? So $70 for Stellar Blade may seem like a lot if there's post DLC content or expansions, but I think we're going to get enough with Stellar Blade to justify that price. And I think that price does not need nearly as much justification than it used to because of what games are valued at and everything else being inflated. But that's my take. My name is Plazukas. If you like this content, like, subscribe. I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.